What's up guys, my name is Platypus J and today we're going to be talking about the molten fairy known as Ashka. First of all, I got to admit, I really like this little guy's voice. Ashka is an unknown creature that basically specializes in fire, burning things, and talking in third person. This small fire demon is a ranged character in Valorant. Imagine there's a crossover from Brand from League of Legends and Maniac from Borderlands, and you basically have Ashka. This fun little pyromaniac is extremely powerful and fun to use, just like everyone else in Valorant, except Varish. I get to be tilted by Varish. But seriously though, this guy is just extremely fun to use. There's stuns, shields, tons of damage. What is there not to like? Ashka's basic attack is called Fireball. This is his bread and butter. Ashka launches a fireball that deals 15 damage. It reapplies in night on impact. This is Ashka's most basic attack and does a lot of damage if it hits you consecutively. With a cooldown of 0.3 seconds and a cast time of 0.4 seconds, it's no wonder why Ashka is sometimes considered overpowered and broken compared to other champions. A good Ashka is a very scary Ashka. This is why Ashka is called the Molten Fury. Even though he is squishy, most of the time he can dish out more damage than he receives. No camouflage, no teleporting, just raw damage with a few utilities to increase his survivability. Anyways, this does not make Ashka overpower in any shape or form. Just remember that when using Ashka, if you can land your fireball consecutively, it should be a very smooth match. Firestorm is Ashka's big damage dealer. With the right battle right, you can spawn 4 AoE projectiles that deal 18 damage each, and nice enemy team with a 7-second cooldown and 1 second cast time. Did I also mention that this knocks you back every time it hits you? Every time you get singled out by a melee champion, like a Rook or something, it looks like this.
Be gone!
Anywho, his dodge is Searing Flight. Ashka transforms into fire and fly to a target location, dealing 10 damage to nearby enemies with a 9-second cooldown and near instant cast time. It's basically like Jay's dodge, but he does damage when he lands instead of when he takes off. Of course, just like Jay's dodge, he uses his ability to jump over walls and spook your opponent.
Here's Johnny!
This ability can be used both offensively and defensively depending on your situation. Most of the time you can use this to finish off low health targets or to steal orbs. The next ability we're going to be talking about is Flame Strike. You engulf an area in flames dealing 20 damage and stunning nearby enemies. It's an AoE stun. Even though it's a stun that does a good amount of damage, its 0.4 second cast time can make this difficult to land at times. If you do land this, however, you can combo with Firestorm and do a lot of damage. This is why I consider Ashka to be a bursty champion. Combine this with Firestorm that has 4 projectiles and you do 84 damage plus the extra damage from Ignite. Keep in mind that this is up every 8 seconds whether you miss it or not. Just make sure not to rely on this too much when setting up combos. You have other things that can set up combos like Molten Fist and your ultimate. Getting hit by this is the worst. Not only does it do a lot of damage, the stun feel like it lasts forever even though it is actually less than a second. Next thing you know, you're dead and wondering where all your HP went. Then after a match, you got to look at his smug face as he drools everywhere. Stupid piece of shit! This can also be used to take orbs as well as stop counters and parries since it cannot proc counters or be parried. Now it's time we talk about Molten Fist. Ashka has a dash that can be used as a second dash that can also knock your opponent back. And remember how I said during Flame Strike don't rely on just that to set your combos? Molten Fist can also be used to set up combos. Ashka basically turns into a giant fish and punches people in the chest. I don't know why this move doesn't do damage because it looks like it does, but unfortunately it does not. Be careful when using this move. Just because it doesn't do damage does not mean it cannot proc counterattacks. Just like Ashka's dodge, Searing Flight, this also has a cooldown of 9 seconds. Depending on how you use these, that gives you a dodge ability every 4.5 seconds. This gives the not so mobile Ashka some mobility. You'll be using this to mostly push back melee champions, but remember this can also be used as an effective dodge if you're in a pin. I've noticed that if you use Molten Fist when Alicia uses her ultimate, you will avoid it because you'll be in the air and not on the ground, avoiding the whole entire thing. Now we'll be moving over to Firewall. Firewall is a defensive tool Ashka has against ranged champions. You summon a wall of fire. The wall blocks projectiles and nice enemies that pass through it. It's like Destiny's wall, except the cooldown for Ashka's is twice so long, and instead of snaring your opponent, you ignite them. Ashka's Firewall also uses 25 energy. Depending on the matchup, you might be better off not using it and charging your all. It can, however, block ult projectiles such as Jade's and Iva's. And as someone who uses Jade a lot, nothing is more annoying than when someone blocks or parries your ult. Speaking of ults, the next one we're going to be talking about is Ashka's ultimate. This has to be the funnest thing in his whole entire kit. So pretty much Ashka's ultimate is Infernal Scorch, a ult that cannot be parried, blocked, or countered. If you're in that line of fire, you're screwed. The only way to avoid Ashka's ult is to dodge it. Infernal Scorch is when Ashka turns into a little fire demon and dashes toward you, dealing 36 damage to anyone he hits. This is personally one of my favorite ultimates. While it is underwhelming compared to other ultimates, it is reliable and gives Ashka the Molten Fury title he deserves. When you're going against Ashka, you see that little ultimate sign pop up above his head, you know you got two options. You can either A, dodge his ultimate, or B, get fucked up by Firestorm. Although it is possible to dodge both, it is going to be very difficult to dodge both, especially when his allies are still alive.
Definitely recommend finding out if you are using the game or if you
Death vortex is incoming.
It's always goes on you, simple, you back at house, like powerhouse insurance. Really can't go wrong with everything. Anyway, this is a video. First video. If you like the video, see more, subscribe, like, comment, and don't be afraid to reach out to me on social media if you have any questions or just want to play. My Snapchat, Instagram,